All right, all right. Greetings. This is Iyanda Siraj, the Eclectic High Priestess. I hope that I'm finding you well and in good spirits. Okay, today, if you are here for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much for being coming back and supporting the channel. Either way, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to know when we are uploading. Also, if you need any information or booking personal readings and looking into your own situations, then the information is in the description box below. All right. So we have the three groups here, and we're going to check into the astral plane and get messages from the ancestors. Okay. So you have three card groups here that we're going to use for clarifying our messages. We have, wow. Okay. Here we go. We have the Akmara Tarot is the first group. All right. We also have the Orisha Tarot. That's going to be the second group. And we have the African American Tarot, which is going to be the third group. All right. So these messages we use the Urban Intellectuals decks that has different ancestors and elders here. Some like elders because some are still living. But we're going to pull messages from one of each of the decks, the Steam deck, the pre-1492 deck, and the Women in History deck. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at. I'm going to get started in preparing the groups. So here we go for group one. For group one, we have George R. Carruthers. I'm saying his name right. Okay, two people want to come out. We're gonna take Henrietta Lacks. Actually, I'm just gonna take both. Okay, since they both popped out. We have Henrietta Lacks and we have LEYMAH Roberta Bowie. I'm gonna say that's how you say her name. Bowie, Bowie, probably from the Women. And we're going to go into the pre-1492. And we have the Kingdom of Congo. All right. So let's get into it for group one. All right. So George Carruthers, science, technology, and engineering, says he's still living. Okay. Scientist, inventor, physicist. At the age of 10, he built his first telescope. One of his most well-known inventions was the ultraviolet camera, also known as the spectrograph. It was used in 1972 Apollo 16 NASA spaceflight. A second version of his ultraviolet camera was used in 1974 to observe comets, including Halley's Comet. Helped develop a program which allows high school students to work at the Naval Research Laboratory called the Space and Engineers Apprentice Program. Because of his dedication to the sciences and engineering, he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2003. Has received numerous other awards and honors, such as the Distinguished Lecturer from the Office of Naval Research and the Exceptional Scientific Achievement Award from NASA. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that's coming to mind is the word ingenuity. Okay, the word ingenuity. Now, from a very young age, George has been creating, thinking of how things work together, how things combat one another, basically problem solving too. His problem solving skills are off the charts, it sounds like. And usually the case in science, technology, and engineering, problem solving is one of the major energies there. But we have this emphasis on the ultraviolet camera, and what came to my mind when I read that was what's it called, the Crillian camera that can look at energy, that can observe energy and photograph energy. So that's something that's picking up, and I'm wondering if it's the same thing or something similar. either way, this is talking about the ingenuity or creative ways to look at things that can't be seen with the naked eye. Okay, so you could be thinking about this from a very spiritual perspective at this point, because that's what's coming to my spirit as I'm thinking about it. Different, kind of like how we're using these cards here today. So it's talking about a little bit of like ways to peer into the unknown, or ways to see things that can't be seen by other people. Okay, excuse me. So I'm picking up on, look, okay, so George is talking to me about like psychic technology or downloads of high level technological information. So channeling it. There's definitely this energy of supporting the youth as well with their ideas, with their passions. Because I'm hearing, like, if nobody would have invested in me, or if no one would have taken me seriously, this technology wouldn't be here, or it wouldn't have come for another 50 years, 100 years maybe. Okay. So I do feel as if this is kind of giving us an energy where we need to make sure we're looking to the youth, that we are giving them the energy that they need to produce, the energy, the tools, the just the support that they need to bring forth these creative concepts, this ingenuity, these processes, these systems that need to be built. If nobody's investing in these children, then some of these things won't be able to come into fruition, or won't be able to be explored for, like I said, 10, 20, 100 years. Okay. So it'll be delayed. So somebody out there has a child who has a specific skill set. Okay. There's a child out here that has a very specific skill set. And George is saying it could be tied to science, technology, and engineering, but not in the way that he worked with science and engineering, but more from a more psychic or energetic way. Okay. So you could be somebody who literally reads auras, or there's this technology that reads auras, photographs energy. So if this isn't a child, then this child can literally see energy, can see not just aura colors, but energy patterns and things like that. Yeah, with ultraviolet, just the fact that it's even violet is just giving me so much like crown chakra energy right now. So I do feel as if this is talking about channeling technology, channeling science information. This will be very prominent in children who might like to take things apart, to tear things apart, um, because working in reverse. You know what I'm saying? I think we picked up on that somewhere. Oh yeah, last week when I did the other this other reading, was it Catherine Johnson or Catherine Jackson who talked about working in reverse to solve problems. She did the calculation in reverse to make sure it was going to work. And so I do feel like that's another thing here about something being taken apart. So if you have a child who's been taking your stuff apart, have the conversation about what's okay to take apart and what's not okay to take apart, but also give them projects that they can work on, and that you don't mind them breaking down. Okay. Because there's something there, not just about that thing that's going to be taken apart, but about the process. This child can discover this thing. Okay. So that's very interesting information. So let's get our tarot cards and see what wants to come forward about this. George, what do you want to tell us? What else do you want to say to us regarding? Well, I want you to know that your cards are all jacked up. That's what I want you to know. Okay. All right. So George, what? Ace of Swords. So I feel like this is definitely kind of like right along with what we're saying. Ace of Swords would say that's an idea or an epiphany, okay? Tied around some technology. Swords are also technology. Okay, so I think metal, iron, things like that, energy with swords, energy as well. I'm also picking up too that when you talk about channeling, that means you literally, this person, the child, wouldn't know necessarily what they were saying, what they're saying, okay, or what they're drawing, because the swords could be writing as well. So this child wouldn't know. There would be you would know that they're actually channeling this information, because there's terminology and things that they wouldn't know otherwise. Okay. Okay, I'm also picking up too that this is something that is part of their destiny. Okay, it's part of their destiny. It's like the sword is going through their palm, the palm here for the Ace of Swords. And I feel like that's giving me some type of indication about palm reading, or some indication on their hand about their destiny. Okay, something that they're supposed to take part in this lifetime. Okay, too many cards. I have 3 cards to let me know what you want to say, George. What do you want to say? Okay, Queen of Iya Cowrie is the Queen of 1111 on the clock. Iya Cowrie is the Queen of Pentacles. So it did come up in reverse, but I'm going to take it upright just because it doesn't matter, right? But what I feel is that, like I said, if you neglect, if you are the parent and you neglect this, if you don't nurture this in this child, then again, there's this delay that can take place with the Pentacles. It can slow down whatever this development is supposed to be, not only for this child, but for society. Apparently, this is some very important technology, okay? It's very important technology. I'm also picking up too that if you don't resonate with this, then again, we said that this can be on a public scale. So we could be looking out for a child between 10 and 15 years old that is bringing forth some information that is very pertinent to science, technology, and engineering, okay? That will change STEAM for over the next 10, 20 years, okay? Yeah, this person, this child hears from the ethers, or hears from the ancestors. There's a cowrie shell as an earring here, and I feel like this child can hear things. Okay, can hear things. I don't know, sounds, voices, maybe that can. This child can hear very clearly. Is what I'm trying to pick up about these topics. Okay, we have Iya Cane, so that's the Queen of Wands, and Iya Cutlass. Okay, so you got all the queens here, all 3, well, 3 of the 4 queens here. Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, all but the Queen of Cups. So this is probably a female child. I'm just going to throw that out there. This is probably a female child, and I feel as if this child needs direction. This child needs direction. Now, this child, okay, listen. Okay, so if if this child is already, within that 10 to 15 year age range, there's something here about distraction, so many different distractions, TV, internet. We also have like sexuality, or some type of sexual trauma could be coming into play with this situation. I'm not sure what this is about, y'all. Okay, but or in general, the stability of the family won't allow for this to happen. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting, but I need one more card because there's a lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of acclaim that this child would. Yeah. See the star. See North Star. There's a lot of acclaim and public attention that's going to come to this. Now, this child could already be in the public eye. What's that one girl name? She ended up coming up. She was in politics, but she was like a foreigner. I don't know what that little girl's name was. She was a preteen. It's something like that, where this child could be thrust into the spotlight because of this. It could just be a simple words that this child says. Honestly, it's interesting that it's coming up like this. 9 of Pentacles. Wow. So this could be literally some type of scientific discovery, okay, made by a 10 to 15-year-old. Now, George, this technology, this what George built, this child can do without the technology. So someone has a child, or you are the child who has the ability to understand what's happening in the sky. So understand maybe astrology. That's the technology, right? But for whatever reason, there's something about the spectrograph that this child can do this. Ultraviolet camera. This child could have visions of constellations, or have visions of like some type of interplanetary action or interactions or something like that. This is deep. This is going way above and beyond what I thought it was ever going to go. Okay. But this is beautiful though. I appreciate it. It does feel like this child can see into the stars, can see into the future even. There's something about the dreams of not just you. This child can travel into dreams. I don't understand. This is interesting. Okay, so what advice do you have, George? What advice is this that you have here? There's definitely okay, so the three women are coming up, and I feel like this is tied to the three women recognized in Hidden Figures as well. So there's something about the notoriety that this child or this person is going to be able to reach, and it's tied to, you got those three women there. And so I feel like it's kind of like the same thing. Or this child could also be some type of a descendant of these folk. Okay. Anger. Even though you are bursting inside, you need to remain calm, dig deep, and find the strength to activate the self-control that lies within you. Okay, so I don't think it's specifically talking about anger, or it could be though. So I feel like the anger could be coming down about because it's tying to that message that came up for that group of women before. Um about receiving proper pay or receiving proper honors. Okay. Reevaluate the battle you are engaged in. A hasty retreat may be in order. Self-preservation may be the only thing salvageable. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, George. Is that everything? Because this was a very interesting message. 16, Apollo 16 NASA flight. I feel as if there could be a sense of I'm hearing the word betrayal. You could experience that this person could experience some situations in in this process that anger not just you, but also anger the ancestors. Okay. All right. So we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that as that. It's interesting how that message came through. All right. Help me understand. Help me understand. All right. Henrietta Lacks for group 2. Henrietta Lacks and LEYMAH Roberta Bowie. I'm gonna say that that's how they say the names. I'm gonna show them both to you guys. All right, so Henrietta Lacks, African-American woman whose cancer cell culture was used to create one of the most important cell lines in cancer research in 1951, diagnosed with cervical cancer in 1950 after giving birth to her fifth child at the age of 30. During treatment at Johns Hopkins, 2 cervical samples were taken without Lax's knowledge or permission and were used to create the HeLa cell line. Lax cells were the first cells observed that could be divided multiple times without dying. As a result, they were used in many medical experiments. The cells were the first to be successfully cloned and have been used to develop a vaccine for polio and to research AIDS, cancer, virology, and sensitivity to products. Lax was given a posthumous honorary doctorate in public service in 2011 and inducted into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame in 2014. Okay, let's see how these play together. Liberian peace leader and organizer of women, collaborated with future Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to enable a free election in 2003, worked in trauma healing to help rehabilitate child soldiers who were affected by years of war in Liberia. Bowie's women's peace movement used non-traditional tactics such as a sex strike and threats of curses and nudity in the streets to bring an end to the Second Liberian Civil War in 2003. Co-awarded the 2011 Nobel Peace Prize for her role in peace-building efforts and the nonviolent struggle for women's rights. Okay, so I definitely feel like here there is an energy about one, about feminine health, women's health, womb health, okay, access to proper care, birth rights, the rights that you have when you give birth at a hospital or when you give birth to a child in general, the rights that you have over your body, over your tissues, over all the things that come from your body. So there's something about the rights, okay? I just feel like LEYMAH is more speaking to us about the activism behind it, actually standing up for the rights of women, especially the uneducated women, making sure that we get this wisdom and knowledge into their hands so that they don't become victims of the same thing that Henrietta became a victim to. I liked how on this they spoke about her being co-awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and here she is showing up as a partner with Henrietta Lacks. Okay, so I do feel like there's an energy of defending, like I said, defending women's rights to their womb, to their body, their birth plans, okay, having their birth plans respected. I'm also picking up too on I don't know what this movie was that I was watching, but it was The Underground. I think it's on Amazon. And it's a kind of like a spin on Underground Railroad and everything. But when this lady, nope, that's not what it was. It was White Lies, the movie White Lies on Amazon. And this is more talking about like a native tribe. They were native. They were not Native American, but they were an indigenous tribe, and they held to their cultural practices when it came to childbearing and things like that. Some situation happened where a lady went to the hospital. The people there, they were foreign, they were Caucasian, and they had these hospitals, and they basically just did whatever they wanted to with this lady and let her die. And let her baby die. Okay. And there was a woman who was a midwife, and she basically went and stood up to the doctors and the nurses and said, hey, we're going to take the baby. You've already discarded all of her placenta and everything. And I'm just going to point out this one specific scene because that's the whole point of why I'm bringing it up. But when she went to go defend and say, hey, I want to take the bodies back so that we can do proper burial rites, she said she asked for the placenta, and the lady pointed to the trash can, which was outside of the building, and said, find it. Just like that. And so it was a very heavy scene when I watched it, because here she is putting this newborn baby who's passed and the mom onto a truck to take them back, and still being slapped in the face and disrespected by these nurses and by these doctors. So all the way on all these indigenous cultures who have basically been attacked through medical practice, okay, attacked but also used in medical practice. So this is definitely something that's showing up here. With LEYMAH, I feel like there's a sense of kind of like she's present day as well. So maybe I need to look into some of her speeches or some of her content. But there is something here about like what do we have to do in order to show them that we're not just going to continue to allow you guys to do this to us. Okay, so both of these women are showing up as activists, and they're giving us a word to say we have to take back our rights. Now, if you want to go to a hospital, to have your child just because that's what feels safe to you, then that's fine. But you must go employed with the wisdom and knowledge that you need in order to make sure that we are not continuing to fall victim to these types of testing and all of this experimentation on us, when we just going to bring kids into the world. Okay. So I do feel like there's a big emphasis on this because Henrietta Lacks, the cells were also taken from her when she was diagnosed with cancer after her 5th baby. Those cells were taken during that birth. Okay. So yeah. So there's a lot of, just to put it out there for anybody who feels like they may be in this position or know somebody who would be in a position like this. There's a lot of like Sacred Birth Doula, I think is her name. She's on Instagram, and she actually has packages for people. You can work with her, and she can help you create your birth plan, your birth rights package. She says your birth rights package. So for anybody who may be getting ready to have a baby and you are of the diaspora, or you just want your rights protected in general, you don't even have to be of the diaspora, but if you want your rights protected in that way, then just do a quick Google search. There's people out here who have the information that you need. I'm also hearing too, something that has been coming up a lot more lately or recently is about the birth certificates. Okay. You don't have to have a birth certificate. What a birth certificate is a contract with the state that says that you need the state's help to care for your child. And that they have guardian rights over your child and of course over you. Since you signed that birth certificate, you claim that you are a minor to the state, that you are under the guardianship and your child of the state. Okay. And so it's a contract, and it's saying, and what these women are telling you is that this is more important than people really realize. I think that over time we've been weary about doing these things because a lot of people have taken advantage of it and made it seem as if it's a criminal act. Okay. Because these people decided that they were going to abuse these things for whatever reasons they were using them for. Right. But these are real rights that we have and that we can claim at any given time. So to close that comment, there is a difference between a birth certificate and a record of live birth. Okay. So someone needs that information. You need a record of live birth in order to prevent these types of things or these rights from being taken away from you. And then you can do just everything that you can do with the birth certificate, you can do with the certificate or the record of live birth. Okay. Passports, all that. You can do all that same stuff. All right. Well, probably can't access no government entity. So if you're trying to keep your food stamps or your welfare or whatever, then that's probably not the best bet for you. But if you are looking to have rights over yourself and your children, then that's the thing. All right. So let's clarify this message and see what else these ladies have for us. Okay. So I'm picking up too, there could be coming up some type of strike. We already know that there's a rise in people having home births, okay, taking over that part. But even just having a home birth, especially if you decide that you're still going to go do certain records and stuff like that, it's just not enough. Okay, so I do feel like there may be coming up some type of strike. See, the High Priestess is coming up. So that's telling me what I'm saying is accurate. That's the first thing. And then the High Priestess talks about too, or the Priestess talks about having information, secret information or hidden information, okay, or accessing it. So I do feel very much so they're talking about these birthrights and things like that. This is stuff that people don't know regularly. They just need to be taught it, okay? And here we go with the calories again, right? Okay, I'm also feeling too that there's not just, okay, I'm picking up on a lot of spiritual energy here today, or supernatural type energy. So I do feel as if these women are also speaking to us of their even deeper information that's tied to this that we don't know about. So for instance, like when you have a certain blood type, that blood type ties you to certain alien races. Okay. It also can speak to what type of gifts, spiritual gifts you have, and things like that. They can get all of that from your blood, okay, by blood typing you and things like that. So I do feel as if there's also something about the spiritual power of the Black woman. Let me just put it like that: of the indigenous woman, of the women of the diaspora in general. Okay, so this is why it's so prevalent that Black women are the ones who are being targeted and abused in this way in the medical system. Okay. They are bringing up to me that in the future, we're going to be hearing more and more and more about the creation of artificial wombs and things like that. I understand that they're not artificial wombs. They're artificially implanted, but they're not artificial. Okay. These wombs, these specimens are from actual women that are going missing, that disappear, um, that die in custody of in whichever way that is, whether they're in jail, mental hospitals, in the hospital. These are these women's wombs, and they will be sold. As a matter of fact, I believe I'm being told that they're already being sold. These wombs are being sold, and we're being told that they are artificial wombs, that they've been made, but they are actual wombs. Okay. Let me just go ahead and Google it real quick. Artificial wombs 2021. Reproduction without pregnancy. Would it really emancipate women? Okay, so this is talking about wombs outside of people. Okay, so what about how much does an artificial womb cost? Listen, $12,400. Now, in this way, they're using artificial wombs to put uh premature babies into so they can finish developing. Facilitate the process of ectogenesis, which is the development of a fetus in an artificial environment following transfer from a maternal womb. The bio bag is a sealed bag that has umbilical cord access and an oxygenator circuit. Okay, so also too, so they're calling it a mechanical womb, but this is not what I'm channeling right now. Okay. All right. So let's continue with this. Hello, Devin. Hello, hello. Let me open up my chat real quick. Oh, here we go. What's going on? What's going on? What are we talking about? Good blessings, blessings, blessings. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely some energy here about the truth behind whatever this is. Okay. They're also talking to me about trying to basically live in a world without women, and that Black women would be the first to go through this process, right? So they would test it on us and do all of this to see how they can create this technology. The aim would be to wipe out this group, and then they would use it. It's not just about women of the diaspora. They're telling me, they're saying that we would just be the first ones, so this would definitely talk to basically this toxic rulership that men have, yeah. I won't even get into it, but there's this energy, it feels like, against women in general, and that basically the Black woman is the one who's building the technology, or the technology is being built off of her, and then it's going to be used against her first to push her out and make her basically useless, pretty much. Okay. I'm also picking up on in the near future, there could be a report. This is going to sound weird, but there could be a report of a woman impregnating herself. Okay, and they're gonna be saying that um, there's nothing to show that she had an egg fertilized by a male and all this. So this could be something that pops up here. Okay, so they're also talking to me about this. With the priestess, it talks about findings. There's things that are being found out, or things that are coming to the light, or being shared with the public. Findings that are being shared. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. The Two of Cups. Yeah, look at that. Two of Cups is usually about partnership or connection between two people. They have a man. Is it a man? It's just a feminine sitting there. And I don't know about y'all, but that could totally be menstrual blood. One more card here for group 2. I'm telling y'all, listen, with the Magician and the Queen of Wands at the bottom. Yo, look, there's this energy here with the Magician, the Priestess, and the Two of Cups. Feminine energy. What did I say? That feminine spiritual energy, okay? The Two of Cups, this, I don't know what this card speaks about in general in the book, but the fact that red is in African spirituality is more of a masculine color. And she this woman is sitting here, but she's like channeling down this energy. And if this is indeed like period blood, then I feel like this is speaking to what I was just saying about like trying, like conjuring or birthing or bringing forth pregnancy or bringing forth a child, and it's just her. Over here we have the Magician with his hands in this bowl mixing this up, and it talks about this magic that she's conjuring being taken and used by warlocks or scientists. Yeah, scientists / warlocks to create this new this new technology. Dang, that book is all the way over there. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and see how they want to close this message. I'm going to go ahead and take 2. Miss Henrietta Lacks, how do you want to close out your message? She was kind of quiet and soft spoken, and that's what this is about too. You know, Miss Henrietta Lacks being being the person that was taken advantage of, and then Miss LEYMAH over here being the advocate, right? So this is talking about women standing up for other women, midwives standing up for the women who are in birth, or whatever the case may be. Sadness is what Henrietta Lacks is coming forward with. Allow yourself the space to feel miserable if you need to. Mourn what has been lost or what cannot be. If you don't take the time now, your sadness will catch up with you later when you least expecting it. Okay, yeah. So I do feel like this is talking about honoring the past and what has taken place. She is saying that there is a general sadness that she continues to see people having, experiencing when it comes to this very thing, okay, happening. So she is speaking to us about being able to feel those feelings. And I'm also saying that, she's comforting someone. She's comforting someone in this time, especially if you've had a loss of pregnancy, or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out with your birth plan or your birthrights. Okay. She is speaking to honoring your feelings about it, but also honoring the past. Now, I have a feeling that LEYMAH over here is going to be like, hey, but do what you got to do. Yeah, see, boldness. Yeah. So yeah. So don't take this lying down. Get up and fight, but fairly. This fight will be remembered because of the respect and dignity you bring to the battle. Now listen, don't lay down and don't lay down. Don't take this laying down. And that's one of those things. Women are being forced to birth in positions that are not right, that don't even help. That cause more pain than good. Okay, so this is definitely a message where she's saying you need to assert your rights. We need to assert our rights. Miss Henrietta Lacks is saying it's okay to have these feelings, but acknowledge what happened when I was timid. Acknowledge what happened when I didn't know, when I was not knowledgeable, and this was able to take place for so long. I had to pass away, and people had to fight for my rights for me in order for me to even be recognized in the situation. So I do feel as if these women are teaming up and saying we need to embody both energies, or acknowledge the Henrietta Lacks energy, but embody the LEYMAH energy, right? And helping to create a different future or a different outcome in the future. It says the fight will be remembered because of the respect and dignity you bring to the table, to the battle. And when you show up with your birthrights package, it's like they don't fight it. They're not able to fight it because it's legal documentation of what they're supposed to do in order to care for you. It's your right to say, this is this. I'm taking my placenta home. I don't want to stay at the hospital for 3 days. I'm going to go home tonight. These are all your rights. No, don't wipe my baby off. No, don't clip my baby's cord. No, like all of these different things are your rights. And it's the boldness that you need to just have it already put together. And then when they try to overstep, you correct them, or you have someone in place who can do that for you. Case in point, a midwife, birth doula, whatever the case may be, someone who can help back you up, support you while you're in the process, because there's a lot of feelings going on during that time and you're very vulnerable, right? Okay, so I'm hearing too that you're going to start seeing that more insurances are covering both. I think right now you have to do one or the other. Like they'll pay for the hospital or the hospital, or they'll pay for this. Most insurances, okay? And I don't know that to be fact, but that's what I'm picking up on. And I feel that there's going to be legislation and rules come down that both should be offered, that both should be covered, because you should be able to go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor, but also if you need the support of a midwife or a doula, that should also be covered. Okay. And if your insurance don't cover it yet, she's saying that this is a necessity at this point. This is a necessity. It's not just something like, oh, well, I'm going to do this or this. It's a necessity for us to have the support, especially if we're going into these hospitals. And then also speaking on, once again, about the documentation, about knowing your legal rights, about having your status correct, and your child's status correct. Okay, so that they can't play these games. All right, so that's group 2. Thank you, ladies. Okay, group 3, we have the Kingdom of Congo. The West African Kingdom of Congo was born from joining of 2 royal family members, Pemba Kasi and the Mbada tribes. The king and queen's child, Lukini Lua Nimi, became the first king of Congo and solidified the kingdom. 3 million people belong to the kingdom, and it was known for being a trading nation of things like ivory, metal, and pottery. I can't read today. The kingdom was involved for some time in the slave trade, selling to Portugal, but it created civil unrest and eventually weakened them. The kingdom saw some independence through the rubber industry, but was eventually defeated by Portugal and became part of Angola. Okay, I feel like the Kingdom of Congo is speaking to us about reconciling between tribes, healing between different bodies in the diaspora. Okay, I'm picking up the energy of kind of like how like American Africans, if that's the right way to say that, and then people who are actually who actually raised and born and raised in African countries. I do feel as if there is something here talking to that and about the rejoining of forces to be able to find success. Okay. The history is important, because there was many tribes and kingdoms that did deal in the slave trade too, but and it caused a sense of judgment and criticism, against those groups. Well, rightfully so, right? But they're saying that we need to be able to forgive and move past. Oh wow, they just said you forgiven them. Those who enslaved Africans, and brought them to the United States, the ones that did come to the United States, right? Because there was some here too, right? Some people already here. But anyway, we won't get into that. But they're saying that that we've already forgiven, and we're trying to integrate, and we're trying to work with those people. They're saying we need that same energy to come through. So the Kingdom of Congo is speaking to us and saying we need to heal this dynamic. We refuse to bring it together, but we've been fighting for hundreds of years now to be a part of the United States, to be accepted by a certain group of people here, right? But we won't put that same energy into reconciling with our people, okay? So this is like a chastisement. It's like divide. If we remain divided, they conquer. Just like they say. The kingdom saw some independence. They speak about independence through the rubber industry, but was eventually defeated by Portugal and became part of Angola. And I feel like the fact that they were independent is the reason why they were taken over, or the reason they were defeated. And that's kind of like what I'm picking up on, is that we can't do this independently, though. No one tribe is going to be able to overcome the energies that we're in. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, don't give up. Yeah, it's saying, yeah, there definitely has to be a sense of continued investment by everybody involved, okay? Everybody involved. Knight of Pentacles, slow movement. This is why it's moving slow. They're talking to us about how slowly we're coming back together, or how slowly we're uniting. They're saying that unity is the answer, even though that's not what's being taught, really. There's a very independent energy around reconciling between entities within the diaspora. It's been delayed because our focus is somewhere else. Where's the focus? We know where the focus is. I know where the focus is, but I'm going to let the cards tell us. Where is the focus? Where is our focus turned to that has caused this delay? I feel like this is speaking to everybody wants to be a chief. Everybody wants to be a chief. Everybody wants to be a thought leader. Everybody wants to be like recognized. And that's what's slowing the situation down. 8 of Cups. Yeah, their attention is elsewhere. Oh, I also feel too, yeah, when I say everybody wants to be a chief, everybody wants to be a king, it's, lots of people are relocating to other areas, leaving the United States. Yeah, Emperor down here. Leaving the United States, going to other places. And that's beautiful, but it doesn't do anything for the unified collective, okay? It only does something for you as an individual and whatever tribe you put together, okay? Excuse me. So I think that there's a little bit of criticism regarding that. And I'm not going to say that if you do that, it's wrong, but it is saying that, you also have to find a way to contribute to the unifying, okay? You have to find a way to contribute to the unification process. The Emperor card on the bottom. Yeah, because things can be so accelerated for the collective, for the bloodline. Our legacy can be extended even more. I'm not sure why I said it that way, but yeah, okay. Yeah, there's an energy here about everybody just kind of like deciding that they're going to go this way, go that way, to separate from whatever the not whatever, but the current state of affairs. Freeing self and a beautiful free self be an example. Okay, great. But you also have to make sure that you have some element of, inviting others, or like even teaching other people how to do it, how to create their own nations and things like that, because not everybody wants to be together in one group. We don't have to do that, but we do have to still be working together, trading amongst each other, healing each other between tribes, things like that. This card, they have so much more to say. What else do you want to say? Kingdom of Congo. And I just heard, the pace in which people are dying, bloodlines are just being eradicated, like they're literally being wiped out, whole bloodlines, whether that be because they're stuck in the prison industrial complex, or whether they are victims of medical warfare. It's happening at a rapid pace right now. And so what this is saying is we need to pick up the pace as well when it comes to creating or implementing, because they're already created, but implementing these systems that free us and bring us strength in numbers, okay, as a collective. What is this card? The Empress. Yeah. Yeah. The we are a very fertile people, a very fertile collective. And so with the Empress card coming, it's talking about what's seen in the future for us. Okay, what's seen in the future, if we continue on this path, is the same thing that happened to the Kingdom of Congo. We get overtaken by some entity, and all of our resources, to include our physical selves, are taken, which happened before, right? We're overtaken, and we had our system, so we were overtaken by force, but we don't want to repeat the past. Okay, we're not trying to repeat the past. And with the owl here, I feel like the Kingdom of Congo is saying we are on the verge of it. Like, we're on the verge of this being repeated. Okay, look, you know what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, it's saying this is on the verge of being repeated. It's being done in the public. It's public if you care to see it. Okay, but there's definitely a call to action here with this group, with the Congo. All right, group one, y'all, we got a whole hour. So Ace of Wands here. So I do feel like this is speaking of regeneration, rebuilding. We need the foundation is still strong. The trunk is still strong. We need to bring life back to every branch, every bloodline that's tied to the diaspora. We need to bring them all back to one center, okay? So that we can really, and those branches are gonna go do their own things. They're gonna spread and spread and spread and reach to wherever they need to reach to, like a nervous system. That's what I felt like a nervous system. They're gonna reach wherever they need to reach to, but we need to all be able to know that we can come back to source, or the trunk. We need to know we can come back to the trunk, and we can depend on each other, and we can take from one another and give to one another, trade amongst each other, okay? So, oof. 10 of Swords in reverse, to avoid defeat again. Why did I use all of those cards like that? Okay, so I feel like that's the end of that message. The Kingdom of Congo, what message do you want to close with? What advice and guidance do you want us to take forward? Okay, they're giving me 7 years, the 7 pentacles, 7 years, literally. Like, I know that seems like very, very fast, but look how he's outrunning the skeleton. The skeleton will represent the 10 of Swords for us as a people. Okay, that's what the skeleton will represent. And 7 of Pentacles, I say 7 years because Pentacles is the slower energy, the slowest energy of the suits. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. So I feel that 7 years time, we would see that it's a real publicly like even slave trade being right back like the way it was before. Okay, slave trade, even just in general, like it's going to be more modern and obviously more perfected because there's been plenty of time to perfect the system, and a lot of those systems that are still in play, and they've been able to get away with it for so long without anybody like coming to realization like, oh dang, this is happening. So I do feel like it wouldn't take much from this point to 7 years from now. It wouldn't take much for us to get to a place where literally shackles, chains, and things like that again. Okay, so self-love is the message from the Kingdom of the Congo. Self-love is not egotistical. It shows you and others that you are worthwhile and deserve love in all its many forms. Man, take it as it says it, but I really feel nobody is going to love us the way that we love us. And if we don't act like we love ourselves and enforce birthrights packages, enforce nationality status, if we don't do this, then we're showing that we don't love ourselves. We don't care for our children and their children. We don't care about the future of our bloodlines, our descendants. We don't care. And it's saying there's nothing wrong with asserting the rights that you have. There is nothing wrong with standing up and saying, I am this. And I don't have to succumb to these different things, right? So there's this energy, and I feel like there's a lot of pride that they want us to be able to carry, because they're saying self-love is not egotistical, but you can carry there's pride that you clothe yourself with when you do love yourself. There's a certain level of pride that you have about how you interact with people, what you allow to happen to you, okay? And so in loving self, one of the other messages with the self-love is, if you can't look at your brother with love, if you don't want to protect your brother, if you don't want to provide for your brother, then do you love you? Do you love you? If the people who are of you are reflections of you, are enemies to you, do you love you? All right, I'm gonna get. I really want to do another set, so I'm gonna do 3 more messages here, and we're gonna do it. And if y'all don't want to stay, that's okay. We have the Kingdom of Zimbabwe. Okay, we already got a message from them last week, so I'm gonna take this other card that came out. Martin Luther King came out. And I'm gonna note that they came back out though, because I feel like it's probably gonna say something. Ladies, what do you want to share today? Ladies, who else wants to come forward and speak to the collective? This one. Okay, wait. Dang, so hard. Yeah, I'll take this one. Saint ESCRAVA Anastasia. Okay. And Steam. Okay, that card wants it flipped. Oh, love it. BASQUIAT. Why do I always mess up this man's name like that? Because it's an easy name. It's not hard. All right. We can call him John Michael. Okay. Martin Luther King Jr., Saint ESCRAVA Anastasia, and John. Like, why can't I say this name? And I'm not going to say it wrong. So, because I got some respect. Okay, yeah, I said it right. Basquiat. Okay. All right. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King was a pastor from Atlanta, Georgia, who became the most celebrated figure of the civil rights movement. In late 1955, he accepted the NAACP led leadership of the bus boycott to protest segregation. The boycott lasted 382 days, and on December 21st, 1956, the Supreme Court of the United States finally declared unconstitutional laws requiring segregation on buses. He was subjected to arrest, having his home bombed and abused. This is not me, I promise. This is the card this time. He was subjected to arrest, having his home bombed and abused, and was eventually assassinated. Drawing from his Christian beliefs and Gandhi-inspired nonviolent ideas, he led the civil rights movement, traveling over 6 million miles and speaking over 2,500 times between 1957 and 1968. At 35 years old, he became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. His Washington, D.C. address of I Have a Dream, given in front of 250,000 people, is seen as one of the defining moments of modern history. Okay, so what's standing out about this is the nonviolent movement, okay, the nonviolent movement and the protest or boycotting. Okay, so given the messages that we've already received tonight, there is an energy, especially with healthcare, of boycotting. Okay, boycotting, not even just that, but boycotting the systems, welfare, boycotting all of these systems. Okay, and we boycotted buses because buses made the cities and states a lot of money. It made them a lot of money, and it was a convenience to us because we did have to get to our jobs and we had to go make the money to feed our families, right? But we took that inconvenience or we took on that inconvenience, and it hurt their economies, it hurt their societies. Okay, so what I'm picking up here with Martin Luther King Jr. is that it's almost like we're given permission, like we're being given permission to brush off that nonviolent energy, and we need to show up choosing violence, not physical violence always, right? But saying that we are going to defend ourselves and we are going to fight. Okay, fight for these rights. Okay, so now violence in the physical form might happen, right? But this is violence. They're acting in violence towards us. These are all acts of violence. When they take your rights, when they sign you into contracts that you're unaware of, this is an invasion of your rights. It's violence against you as a person, as an entity, and as the diaspora. Okay, so Martin Luther King Jr. is like showing up saying, okay, look, we tried it. Let me be an example of what can be accomplished with peace. Okay, but I'm giving permission. These ancestors are giving permission for y'all to choose violence. Okay, again, violence doesn't have to be physical violence, but it's you show up with aggression, you're ready to defend what you know is right. Okay. Whew, okay. So what you're gonna boycott? You're gonna boycott systems like the medical systems that if you don't need it, you don't show up. We're going to have more doctors. We need more doctors, more people who know herbs, more people who know the body, more people who have studied the sciences. I'm also picking up too, you're going to end up having to boycott the food industry. You have to end up boycotting a lot of different things in order to really hit the way it needs to hit in order for change to occur. Okay, for power to be given back to where it needs to be. Okay, so Martin is showing up with no nonsense attitude here today. I see. Yeah, see, the Egun is right here at the bottom. This justice. So there's definitely a sense of set it straight. Let's set some things straight here. There's many ways to get something done, and if we've already tried these ways, then try something else, right? All right, Martin, what do you want to share with us? We have Oniha Cowrie. We have the Empress with Mommy, and we have the Fool card in reverse. Yeah, see, again, this is saying we're not repeating. We're creating a new future. We're not repeating the same. We're not repeating history. We're creating a new future. I just saw Kadara too, which is destiny. There's an energy here about reclaiming destiny. Oniha Cowrie would be the Knight of Pentacles. Again, y'all, come on. Slow energy. So definitely Martin Luther King is saying, yes, be slow to anger, but not like channel the anger into productive protection of the progress that's being made. Okay, productive protection of progress is being made. Okay, with the origin or the fool card in reverse as well, it does feel as if, again, fool, don't fall for the same tricks, don't fall for the same dynamic. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. A lot of people, okay, so I'm just going to jump ahead because Basquiat is saying that a lot of artists are being urged to put certain things in their music, to teach, to bring certain messages out about these dynamics and these things. It's not just about slavery anymore. It's about right now and what is happening today. Okay. Depictions in art and music and things like that are really going to be on the rise when it comes to getting information out about how to truly be free in this environment that we're in. Okay. So this song is saying that they try to tear us down when they know we're made from love. So there's definitely there's definitely energy about kind of like um, loving everything that comes from us, or taking all the beneficial things and then discarding us. Okay. I don't know how these cards got so crazy. Okay, Martin Luther King. Okay, also Martin says, you cannot build a proper future. Okay, so he's talking to the masculine collective right now. Let's go. You cannot build a proper future, a foundation for a future for our peoples without respecting the feminine principle. Okay, remember, Martin Luther King, it's not speak about it on this card, but we know that Martin Luther King was not faithful to his wife. So he led with his message, but he didn't give that same message in his lifestyle. So the very thing that's being attacked right now is the family unit. Okay, it's the family unit. Okay, and so I think that Martin Luther King is telling us that attention needs to be given, and we need to protect the family unit first. It's going to be a defense. It's a defense towards against what is taking place. Okay, it's a defense with the Three of Wands or the Three of Canes, definitely talking about like things that are to come, things that are to come. And I think that what we're talking about, not only like babies being born and things like that, but attention needs to be given to the family unit. Okay, the masculine collective definitely has to step into position and lead the family. And I think also the feminine principle has to be protected. She's in reverse both times, not free to be what she's meant to be in this world, not given proper or due respect in the world. And it's deteriorating the family, which in turn is deteriorating the diaspora. Okay. Knight of Swords and the Three of Wands. Okay, so I do feel as if also, like, again, lots of changes are coming down the pipeline. Ten of Cups in reverse. So if you've been feeling called to take certain action, to take certain steps, to do things that are going to protect you and your family, some people have been told to move to other countries and do this and do that. I just heard I'm not going down with that ship. So again, if you, whatever messages you've been receiving yourself about what direction to take you and your family, Martin Luther King is saying you need to listen to that. You need to listen to that, because he fought for integration. He's saying, I fought for integration. I fought for integration. But integration has not yielded the results. We did not actually become free. The origin card in reverse, the fool card in reverse, we did not become free. Okay, freedom has yet to be awarded. Okay, or returned, or whatever, however you want to put it. But I do feel as if with the Three of Wands and the Knight of Swords, there's an energy of something that's coming up really quickly. What is this? Tell me what's coming up so quickly. What's coming up so quickly here? that you want our attention? What is it that you want our attention on? Three of Cups and Three of Cups upright. Okay, so there is a sense of freedom, celebration amongst the peoples. Um, no, okay, so no, they're talking about he's talking about an upcoming holiday. Wow, you got the devil card right there, bondage. Okay, so I'm seeing something that's talking about an illusory success. Okay, an illusory success, and I think that this is highlighting kind of like we were just talking about this around Juneteenth time. It's highlighting smoke and mirrors, or like appeasement. You know, it's highlighting appeasement, things that are being given to you to appease you, even though they're not giving you what you asked for. Okay, so you're asking for one thing, they're giving you something to appease you, with no intent to actually give you what you asked for. Okay. All right, Martin, what you want to tell us? Weariness. Yeah, do not grow weary. He won't want us to give up. No one has your best interests at heart. Others have their own agendas. Step up and take control of this situation. It's the very thing that people are not expecting you to do. Look at that. I knew what he was saying. He said, show up. Choose violence. No one has your best interests at heart. Others have their own agendas. Step up and take control of this situation. It's the very thing that people are not expecting you to do. Come on, Martin. Come on, Martin. Come on. It's the very thing people ain't expecting you to do. It's step up. It's be like, you know what? No, this is not a thing that I'm going to live in. Ooh, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Markle. Markle. It was just 1:11 seconds on the time just now. But thank you, Martin Luther King Jr. Like, come on. All right. So Saint ESCRAVA Anastasia, born 1800, and passed away. Her date of death is unknown. African Brazilian enslaved and martyred saint of Rio de Janeiro, was the product of a slave-master relationship and was born with piercing blue eyes that set her apart from others. Treated cruelly and forced to wear a slave mask, a collar, and a muzzle made from heavy iron, forgiving in spirit, Anastasia cured her master's son of a mysterious illness before dying herself from tetanus caused by the slave mask. Now seen as a protector saint of descendants of slaves and the poor in Brazil. Come on, y'all, listen. It's talking about your loyalty to, what's it called when you have a loyalty to your oppressor? Stockholm syndrome? Is that what it's called? Stockholm syndrome? Let me look it up. Hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity. Emotional bonds may be formed between a slave and a master or whatever. Okay, so again, it said forgiving in spirit. Okay, Anastasia cured her master's son of a mysterious illness before dying of tetanus that's caused by the mask that they made her wear. Okay, again, so there's a lot of information coming to us intuitively and spiritually right now, especially regarding healing. And I don't want to be divisive, but if you're not an ally, then oh well, right? So it is saying though, don't allow your cognitive dissonance, your Stockholm syndrome, your commitment to your commitment to integration and rights for all. You know, we respect that and we want that to be a thing, right? But when it's coming at your demise, when you die because you didn't get what you gave to that person, you gave something and they were unwilling to give it back to you. She could have healed herself. She could have freed herself and healed herself. Okay. Well, and I'm not going to say it like that, but you get what I'm trying to say. Is like the energy that it took to heal her master. Maybe that energy could have been put into healing herself. Okay. A lot of people were in this energy, a lot of slaves. And again, I'm going to jump back to that movie White Lies, because in the end of the majority of the movie ended up being about that same midwife that had to go defend the indigenous woman, became or was hired to do work for a woman who was higher up, and basically what she was doing was helping her to abort a baby that she was pregnant with, that was not her husband's. And so she was using these practices to help this woman save her image, when these very people literally thought nothing of that woman, the woman and the child who passed away, thought nothing of that woman and child, and discarded them like they were nothing. Okay. And then so this woman was hiring her to help her discard a baby to save her image. Okay. So there's definitely a message here about self-sacrificing or being a martyr, in a hopes that it'll bring unity, or that your loyalty will be rewarded somehow with positive. And history has shown that that's not the case. Okay. We have judgment here with the vulture. Exactly. This is about the peacock. The peacock flew up to the sun and sacrificed its beautiful feathers in order to like calm the heat on the rest of the people, or something like that. It was something about calming the sun's heat. And the peacock flew up and sacrificed all of his beautiful feathers, and now that it has a vulture head, right? Shows the vulture head. Now I'm going to talk about the vulture. The vulture talks about a group of people preying on another group. Vultures are prey, right? Or they prey on the dead carcasses. They clean up decay and things like that. Okay. But a vulture in essence, when we talk about kind of like when we're referring to what we're talking about, the vultures would be the entities, the systems, the governments, even the people who run the governments. They're looking at us as a dead people, and they prey upon us. Okay. And that's bringing up the fact that, I'm just going to throw this out there. A lot of information is coming about nationality and stuff like that. So, okay, this is what I'm going to say. There was something that came up when I remember doing my paperwork, and they talked about how you sign it with red ink over black ink. Black ink meaning that you're not a live being or a live entity. The red ink signifies that you are a blood being. You have blood coursing through you, and you're alive and well. Okay, so I do feel as if there's a significance to that specific piece of information for someone out there. With the judgment card, I do. Saint ESCRAVA is saying that we need to make sure that we're paying attention to history. Judgment talks about sometimes having a second chance at something as well. Okay. And I think that we do. We have this second chance. We have this second wave of something that's about to take place. And what this saint is telling us is she's watching us and she's here with us, but she wants to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes. Okay. We don't make the same mistakes when it comes to sacrificing ourselves, thinking that if we do that, we're going to be headed towards more peace or unity with people who have tried to oppress. Okay. Judgment is also coming down on these groups of people. And I say it very proudly. Judgment is coming down on these people, these rulers of darkness that are up in these high positions of power and things like that. It's happening. Some people are going to be in positions where they end up being the peacock. They're going to sacrifice. We're not talking about martyrship, but we're just saying that there's going to be certain sacrifices that are made. When we talk about, Martin Luther King was telling us about boycotting these systems of comfort. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable if we step away from these systems, but guess what? That's the sacrifice that we have to make in order to cripple the systems that cripple us. We have to fight back against the systems that are crippling us. Okay. And so that's what this saint is talking to us about. What else do you want to tell us? What else do you want to tell us? The death card. I'm going to call it cycle and rebirth. So if you have the judgment and the death card, that means that there is something that has to change. It's dire. Judgment is coming down. What else do we have here? The 10 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, it doesn't. The 10 of Cups came up in reverse with Martin Luther King as well. So there's definitely a sense of like, hey, unity is an energy that all the people involved have to embody. Okay. If all the people involved are not there, it's not unity, then it's one dynamic is going to take over or control another dynamic. Okay, so if everybody is not unity minded and other people have agendas, which is what Martin Luther King's card just said, let me read it again. No one has your best interest at heart. Others have their own agendas. Step up and take control of the situation. It is the very thing that people are not expecting you to do. Okay, so get in alignment. If you need the information, if any of you come to this video and need the information that I'm speaking about when it comes to nationality, when it comes to birthrights and all these different things, there's just stuff that I've come across. So I will gladly direct you to those people who can assist you in setting that stuff up for yourself. Okay, because it's dire for some of us out here. It's very dire that this happens right now. Okay, 10 of Cups is telling me that whatever joy that like Martin Luther King was fighting towards, whoop de whoop de whoop, all this positive energy, it's not a thing, and it's not actually going to manifest. And we can keep hoping that it's going to manifest, but it doesn't manifest. Okay, and I'm sorry to be the one to have to say it. I'm speaking really fast, so I must be just getting this directly. But let me calm down. I hate to be the person to have to be here saying it, but it doesn't happen. We don't see this 10 of Cups in upright if we don't do the work to actually free ourselves. And this is a continuing message. So I'm just going to leave that there. But with the Death card and the Judgment card together, and actually the Death card is in reverse. So it's saying judgment is coming. What steps are you going to take to ensure that this cycle doesn't repeat? Okay. Let's finish clarifying this message. 7 of Swords, deception and deceit. Yes. Yes. The agendas to steal land, to steal all these things. Okay, listen. For those of you who feel so urged to like go to different countries and things like that, it's cool, but you have to reclaim what's yours before doing so. Okay, you have to reclaim what belongs to you, your family name, your bloodline, before you do so. Okay, so there is information. There's a story that came out recently about a family that was given back an estate that some other family or corporation had been making millions of money off of for 100+ years. Okay, and this estate was granted back to that family, and I haven't heard anything about any of those proceeds coming back to the family, but I believe that it will in due time. This is what we're talking about: reclaiming land. The 7 of Swords on in this Pataki, in this story, this person is actually planting or is actually doing spell work on this other person's land, to cause to steal their profits, to bring over the fertility that they have on their land over to his land. And that's what this person is doing on this card, sneaking and stealing this person's crop, basically through spell work, through magic, through deceptions with the 7 of Swords. So Saint ESCRAVA is telling us, don't deceive ourselves, first of all, but don't be fooled by any of these agendas, any of these wow. Okay, medical systems are coming up again, and that's been big. Please, if you feel so led, please go back and watch the rest of the messages, because we're talking a lot about medical rights or medical wow. Okay, so your day-to-day worries, your day-to-day struggles are distractions. Focus on investing your monies, your time, your energy, and this is all I'm going to say. Focus on freeing yourself. Freeing yourself. Now, I'm speaking to who I need to speak to. Focus on freeing yourself. Invest there. Invest there. It's going to cause discomfort. Oh, it's going to cause discomfort. It will. But in the long run, you'll be free. Okay. What else do we have here? And then if you want to dip out, dip out. Okay. 5 of Cups in reverse. I like that in reverse. And the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, I think this is also talking about, again, it's gonna, you may deal with some uncomfortable situations, but if you know how to assert the rights after you've reclaimed them, then you will be able to build in peace, and you will be safe. Safe safe is a word. It's kind of like, I don't know how to take that word right now, but you'll be safe. It's how she said it, so I'm going to just say it like that. Genocide was the word I was coming up with. So genocide in so many forms, whether it's your financial resources, your stability, your mental emotional state, is being attacked, as well as medical genocide, where people are literally being wiped out, okay, with medical procedures or medical malpractices that are not being considered malpractices. Y'all, I am so disgusted. I'm going to tell y'all this story and I'm going to move on. This doctor is a news story. It's not a news story. It's a personal account. This family reported that even though they were told they couldn't record the birth in the hospital, which is a lie, you can assert that right. Either way, this woman decided she was going to record anyway. She snuck, she hit a camera and she recorded. What she caught was the doctor yanking her baby's head out of her vagina instead of allowing it to be pushed out. Following that, the doctor's thumb was literally inserted into her newborn baby's vagina. And she caught this all on camera. These are the things that we're talking about that are happening and that don't have to happen. They don't have to happen. All right. So we're going to move on. But that story just had to come out, I guess, because it disgusted me and I was bothered by it for like 3 days, honestly. Preservation. Reevaluate the battle that you are engaged in. A hasty retreat may be in order. Self-preservation may be the only thing salvageable. Listen, in this situation, they're saying that the Martin Luther King's battle for equality, Martin Luther King's battle for peace and integration, Martin Luther King's battle, it said we need to reevaluate that battle. It says self-preservation may be the only thing salvageable at this time, okay? And I'm not going to go back into it, but all of what we've talked about so far is self-preservation. Reasserting rights or reclaiming statuses, asserting your rights, all these things, that is preservation. That's self-preservation, okay? So Saint ESCRAVA and Anastasia did not self-preserve. She didn't use her skills and abilities to make sure that she didn't die of tetanus from this mask that her master put on her face. What she did was instead use her forgiving nature and her healing powers to heal his child, the child is innocent, right? But still, same situation. She served him before she served herself. She served her master before she served herself. And in this society, the masters are your landlords, are your medical doctors, the healthcare system, the education system. All of these things are your masters. Debt, your master. Birth certificates, making your children wards of the state, that's your master, okay? So that's what they're talking about when they say that. And so Saint Anastasia is saying, no, preserve self. Learn from me, preserve self, okay? There's no way for us to know what could have been accomplished. How old was she? They don't know how old she was when she was died. That's what we're talking about. Just erased from history, really. If nobody was able to find this picture or tell her story, wouldn't nobody know who she was? Wouldn't nobody know her name at all, right? All right. Thank you so much, Saint Anastasia, for your protection and for walking with us as we make these changes in our lives to preserve ourselves and to preserve our lineage, to preserve our resources, to preserve who we are as people. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and walking with us. Okay. Okay. So basket. Basket. Ba- basket. Okay. All right. Okay. Self-taught artist and painter. First began to receive attention as an artist under the name Samo for his graffiti in New York City. His work often showed a fusion of words, symbols, stick figures, and animals. After a few years of struggling, Basquiat, okay, I'm gonna get it right by the end of this. After his death, one of his paintings sold for $110.5 million, which is the highest priced work by an American artist. Became the youngest artist ever to showcase about 60 pieces of his work at the Kessner Gesellschaft Gallery in Hanover, Germany. Before his death, he collaborated with Andy Warhol, which ended up with a combination of their work in versions of cartoon characters and corporate logos. Basky. Okay, get your life together, Janae. Okay, Basquiat. All right. Oh, okay. Come through, Leo. He's not a Leo. He's a Capricorn. Interesting that they have a drawn image here of him instead of like an actual picture. Basquiat. All right. So let's see. Remember I talked about a lot more like um, activism through art. This has been always been a way. It's always been a way of the diaspora. So whether it's dance, music, drawn art, or whatever medium, there's always been this emphasis of art being a great medium for activism. So we're going to see another wave arise in this. And I'm being led to talk about that young man again who decided he was going to step away from music and become a herbalist. I'm going to look him up right now because for whatever reason, this drawing of this man looks like this young boy. So that's the young man. What's his name? NLE Chopper. But for whatever reason, it kind of like resembles him to me. So in a way, his way of being an activist in this situation, he said, I'm not gonna let y'all feed off of me and my creative energy. Instead, I'm gonna take that energy and channel it into art, into healing modalities for my people. So I think Basquiat is talking about this, about more artists. He's saying that more artists are going to be stepping forward and doing things like that. He's talking to me about Akon right now and the things that Akon has done with his career and his resources. Excuse me. To heal communities, to offer life saving resources, to offer to he put what do you do? Um, Solar energy is what Akon has been working with. Solar energy over in some countries in Africa, right? So yeah, it's okay. He's bringing up a lot of artists who use their platforms and their resources now to heal crisis amongst our people. So he's bringing up not Willow, Jaden Smith and well, namely Jaden, because Jaden has the project with the water, just water, where he has the mobile water stations that he's been putting all over the United States, in different areas that is needed. A lot of homeless communities he's doing that in as well, putting these water stations there so they can have clean water. Also, he partnered with his mom, Jada. Jada has her new body care line. It's called Hello Humans. Vegan, no cruelty, packaging that's environmentally safe. But they partnered together and they set up a homeless hygiene stations, where people can come. Literally, they have mobile showers, like trailers of mobile showers, and changing rooms. They have these products, they have the water station and all of that to be able to help these people stay clean, okay, to minimize disease, to get them things out. Also, washers and dryers they take to the locations, or they have a trailer that has washers and dryers as well. So I think this is a beautiful thing. BASQUIAT is saying that a lot of artists are going to be maybe even like turning away from creating, because I'm picking up this energy of how when we create art, the benefit is not ours. We're not the ones that really benefit. And also the impoverished people don't benefit. Okay. The right people are not benefiting is what I'm getting at. And so what it's saying is that's also a type of strike. It's like, instead of creating something that I know is either going to be stolen, used against me, or just pad your pocket, I'm going to do something for people who need it. And I'm also going to give my attention back to my people. Okay. So to healing my people, especially if, like, NLE Chopper, I've heard this boy's music before, and it's not necessarily healing. Okay. I'm not here to judge him or anything, but it's not necessarily progressive. Okay. And so kudos to him for making the decisions that he's made to instead heal the collective. Okay. Because boy, oh boy, we got enough stuff out here killing us, right? Okay. So let's see what he wants to talk to us about. Basquiat. What else do you want to tell us here? What messages do you have for us as a collective? The star card, yes. Okay, we're talking about celebrity. We're talking about people with the power to either heal or kill, to either kill or heal. So we are speaking to this. Now, a lot of people will be just changing over their music. He's bringing Beyonce to mind. People can think whatever they want to think about her, but she's educating a lot of people on ancestral roots or ancestor veneration, connecting with ancestral spiritual practices in general. Okay. So he's bringing up a lot of artists who are, instead of just being an artist, they are infusing their medium. They're infusing their medium with education that can build the community, that can build the diaspora. Okay. Yeah, he's talking about, everybody else moves with an agenda. We should have an agenda too, an agenda to better us. That's what he's saying here with the star card. Ten of Cups in reverse again. Every time the Ten of Cups has come up in reverse, it's come out 3 times, and it's come out in reverse each time. Ten of Cups. So when it's in its upright from this deck, it says rebirth, renewal, perfection of a situation, positive outcome, contentment, happiness, and family harmony. It's in reverse every single time. So it's the opposite effect. Okay. The opposite energy. I knew I needed to do another ancestor message tonight. That's why they told me I was trying to do. Yeah, we have to take back control. Yeah, Ace of Swords. Need to strengthen our minds and our intention. What is our intention? Okay. I'm hearing Erica Badu, y'all. They call her the musical witch. Okay. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but a lot of people have become enlightened through listening to this woman's music. If you feel like you were put under a spell, then hopefully it progressed you and made you a better person, because that's all the music has ever done for me. Okay. So with the Emperor card here, it does feel like there's definitely a sense of returning to power, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, with the rainbow serpent showing up here, is just giving me that we have to be able to use our natural skills and abilities, our natural talents, in order to take our power back. Okay. And if this means that we have to step away, which like NLE Choppa, if this means we have to take our gifts back and not share them the way that we've been sharing them, then by all means, that's what has to happen. Okay. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of that happening. I'm not saying that people will just completely step out of whatever their career is or whatever their thing is, but you may see a lot of people slowing down, producing whatever they produce and turning their attention somewhere else because they've been called to do so. Okay. They've been called to turn their attention because right now, I feel the ancestors, the ancestors are calling y'all to power, calling us to power. Okay. Because it's necessary in this time. Now with the two major arcana being here, it does feel like there's a little bit of a lot of ancestral influence, and so lots of people who are afraid. So even these people who feel so led, they are embodiments of these ancestors. Okay, they are embodiments of these ancestors who are now saying, okay, I'm back and I'm gonna do this differently this time. Can I use you? Can I use you as a medium to do this? Right. So lots of people are gaining inspiration, even being thrust into positions that others may not deem them qualified for or suitable for, but the ancestors have deemed them worthy to hold because of whatever trial, whatever initiations or personal tests you've gone through. You've been chosen to do this thing. Okay. Now, if NLE Chopper, a little rapper, I'm not gonna talk down on him because I don't know the boy, but if he has gotten chosen, which I really feel is true, if he's chosen to do the things that he's saying he's done, he's a rapper and not one, like we already been there. Okay. Mm-hmm. People are not taking him seriously. And that's one of those things. They're not going to let him easily transition from doing that to healing people. And that's one of those things that we have to realize. I'm also with the 10 of Cups, it's saying that you won't be a popular person. You may be in the spotlight, you may have notoriety, and they may give you this position, but you're not going to be a liked person. Okay. Or it won't be easy. You know what I'm saying? Is what the energy coming down. This is not a popularity thing. It's we've given you power, we've given you authority, or we give you a position so that you can do this thing. And it's going to come with a lot of friends, a loss of followers, if that's your thing, a loss of sales or whatever. Okay. It says NLE Chopper vows to cure all STDs. Shande. But he won't be alone. You know what I'm saying? He won't be alone. He has a full diaspora of people, hopefully, who are joining him and supporting him in his efforts. There's many rappers right now. I mean, even like who is it? Supernova Supernova Slim, is that his name? Queen Afua's son, he's a rapper too, right? So we have the 6 of Wands. Yeah, you're being put into the spotlight or being given some type of accolade or being celebrated, promoted. Boom, you're being promoted to a place to where eyes can be seen, eyes can see you and what you do and what you believe, so your voice can be heard, so that they put him up there, made him a whole rapper. He's known by everybody now, and then he's just for him to say, okay, thank y'all, now y'all know who I am, so I'm gonna go do this. So you might see that with a lot of like newer artists who are popping into the scene. They're becoming popular off of a certain thing, and then they're making an unexpected shift into something that's progressive for the diaspora. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm also being told about this is death card again. I'm also being told about kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but this is something that I've noticed. A lot of celebrities, especially when it comes to music and movies, you know, so even cinema too, have to do a certain thing that is kind of against who they are. Now, whether that's racially or like their sexual orientation or something like that, it's like there's always this thing where they have to. Okay, so let me give you an example. Now, Beyonce has just matured over time, and we can just say that it's a maturity thing. But let's think about the messages that she used to put out. Single ladies, bootylicious, I need a soldier, can you pay my bills? Like, let's just think about these messages that used to come from her. They were not negative messages, but the focus of them were very trivial, okay? And I think that it's almost like a rites that you have to perform when you come into the music industry, that you're going to serve a certain narrative for so long, and then after that contract is done, people shift, and then you see them doing something totally different. Now, to the naked eye, of course, we're just seeing them mature and evolve as an artist and as a person. But when you think about it as a system, and the system is definitely in place, think about people like Michael Jackson, who were never really, when they had to really fight for their creative freedom. You know what I'm saying? They had to really fight in order to put out the messages that they wanted to put out. Let's think about that. There's something here about like having to pay the price in order to then have your freedom to create. You've already put a certain amount of energy or a certain type of energy out there that's somewhat destructive, we can say, and then they give you, they let you go, for lack of better words. They let you go, and then you see people put out more like evolved messages, and I'm just gonna say it like that, more evolved messages. With the Six of Wands and the Death card here, I do feel like there's definitely a sense of, well, it's talking about transformation or shifting, and I don't think that those are small shifts. We're gonna keep referring back to this young man. That's not small. He's given up a lot if you think about it. He hasn't been in the game long enough to build up a storehouse of resources and money. I can imagine that he has, you know what I'm saying? I can imagine that he's done that, and I don't know how long he's been in the game, but I can imagine he's built that up. The veil is lifting for a lot of people, and celebrities as well. And since they're already in that position, when the veil lifts, they're like, man, now I'm about to take back authority of my being, and I'm gonna decide how I'm going to affect the people who look to me. Because a lot of celebrities don't want to admit it, but people are looking to you. What is this person doing? How many people started looking into Oshun and the Green Man and all these different things after Beyonce put it in her music videos? How many people really, really, really researched what the Illuminati was once Beyonce put that in her song, in the Formation song? How many people didn't really know what the Illuminati was? They had heard of it and had an idea that was given to them, right, about what it was, but how many people probably went? So Seven of Swords at the bottom here. Again, we have the Seven of Swords popping up all over here, talking about deceptions, talking about the moves that you're making, talking about masking yourself so that you confuse the enemy. Look at that baboon. You got a mask. Look at that lion. That lion came to eat, but there's something weird about this. This is not what I thought it was. It looks different than what I expected. So again, this young man, that mask also looks like him. But anyway, that mask also looks like him. But it's saying we don't know if he had this intention the whole time that he came, he's been on the scene. We don't know if he came with that intention, but the fact is that he's confusing the enemy right now. The enemy thinks that it makes me think of this poem lyric. They never gave us BET as a platform. They hoped we'd aspire to fame, chains, and whores. Aware of our greatness, they want to close every door and wipe away the royal significance in the Moors. And with our leaders in a maze of perpetual days, we remain in chains, begging them for a raise. Funny, right? when it's us that brought them to light. Because without that filament, all Edison had was a piece of glass, right? So it's like, yeah, they try to keep the doors closed or keep the veil over you. And when you make it, when you do everything, you shuck and jive, and I'm gonna put it like that, you shuck and jive and you do all these things, and then they finally put you in this place where you got all the money you need, you got all the attention you need from people, and now you can just be like skirt and be like, switch it up. That's confusing the enemy. Okay. Then you got Mommy Wata showing up with the Queen of Wands. Come on. Hell yeah. Come on, Mommy Wata. What you want? Now I'm just gonna give y'all a general understanding of Mommy Wata energy, because okay, yeah, this is definitely good. At once beautiful, protective, seductive, and dangerous. The water spirit Mami Wata is celebrated through much of Africa and the African Atlantic. A rich array of arts surrounds her. Okay. And so this is definitely talking about how that would be Beyonce right now, right? Using her beauty, using her stature, using her name, using her foundation, her platform foundation, using her platform. And now she's a dangerous weapon because she's culturally empowered. She's empowered by the ancestors now. So she's a dangerous weapon at this point. And when we get into these positions and we have a certain wisdom, it makes us a dangerous weapon. Okay. I just heard weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so let me see if they give like a general like energies that align with her. But for me, I know that she's definitely tied to kind of like acquiring. Okay, it says this ties her to, okay, sorry, so she comes with expensive combs, mirrors, watches. So there's you talking about monies. Then you have the large snake, which is divination and divinity. Okay. They pay tribute to her as a capitalist deity because she can bring good or bad fortune in the form of money. Yeah, that's what I know her for. Even though I know she has many different connections, but oh, look, got another book. Let me just go in and look her up right here real quick, and so I can tell y'all. I was just in this book not too long ago. Okay, so healing waters, that's one thing. Money, opportunity, and knowledge. They talk about her being overly sexualized. The exotic energy that she carries also being preyed upon or being kind of like commercialized, right? All forms of knowing the future: tarot reading, astrology, numerology, tea, coffee reading, clairvoyance, clairaudience, crystal divination, palm reading, more. Mami Wata. Mm-hmm. It says Mami Wata also manifests as gender fluid. Mm-hmm. All right, there's that. So okay, so energies of Mami Wata talking about capitalism. So again, how am I going to use this position that I'm in? How am I going to use these monies, this position, or these resources that I'm in, this opportunity that I have? Am I going to continue to kill, or will I heal? There it is. The Hierophant is here. It's in reverse. So it's talking about our morals and our moral decisions, the institutions that we decide to be a part of, the institutions that we decide to serve, the faith, the path and faith that we decide to walk. Okay, what are we going to put our faith in? Okay, am I going to put the faith in my record deal in Ellie Chopper, or am I going to put the faith in the ancestors who have now given me this urge to go down this other path or whatever, right? And Oya showing up, yeah, with the Chariot. Am I going to be a progressive agent, or am I going to continue to keep us stagnant and stuck? Priestess showing up, y'all. They said you own it. You channeling the hell out of new messages, girl. All right. All right. So Basquiat. So Basquiat. I just heard Jamila Woods. She said, it's a long eye, baby, but your tongue too lazy. So she's talking about people who always mispronounce her name. She's like, it's a long eye, baby, but your tongue too lazy. You know what I'm saying? Because people want to say Jamila, but it's like, no, it's Jamila. Okay. It's Jamila. Okay. Anyway. Okay. How do you want to close this message? Honorable ancestor. Oh, divine channeler of art and inspiration and activism. What you got for us? Confidence. Okay. You confuse confidence with ego. There is no shame in confidence. It's about knowing who you are and what you want. And most importantly, having the courage to stand in your own power. Come on, y'all. Stand in your own power. Mami Wata, Emperor, Star, okay? Chariot, come on. Chariot, come on. Stand in your power. Come on. Death card, come on. Right? Six of Wands, come on. It's all of these cards indicate being in power, whatever your power is. Whatever your power is, it said be in it. Use it confidently to take the culture forward, okay? Not to fight these people, like not to fight people, but to eradicate these systems, to do away with these systems, okay? Confident. What was that on the bottom? Because I feel like that was good. Bravery. It's time to reel in your warrior spirit. Not all conflict has to be a fight. And I was just saying that. The wise warrior will choose their battles carefully, weighing up risk on the road to achievement. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so that's a beautiful message. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, that's everything, y'all. Until next time. I just want to thank all of the wonderful ancestors that showed up for spending this time with us and for delivering these messages and allowing me to be a channel. Thank you for giving me the courage to say the things that needed to be said. Thank you for trusting me to be a voice for the things that you needed to communicate today. I just ask that you send the message out to the collective, and whoever may need to see it, I ask that they receive it, okay? Break through any blockages that may be in place to prevent them from getting to it, whether that be the message that I have for them or the information they need to receive from other places. Remove all blockages from their past so that they may receive the information and the guidance they need to empower themselves and free themselves from these systems. I give you thanks, honorable ancestors. Ashe. All right. Peace, y'all.